Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadadi Swapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So welcome all to today's morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. So we'll just open the document. Hare Krishna Dandavat.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम।
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Dandavat Pranam. Okay. So let's deep dive into the learning. To share. Okay. I hope that you all got a chance to read the purports.
यस प्रभु जी।
Sorry. Let's go over. Okay, so we're starting with Canto 3. So we did give a glimpse on sloka number 1 in the last class. Then we moved to sloka number 2.9, 2 to 9, sloka number 2 to 9, 7 slokas together. So in that we discussed about what are the different benefits of different demigods. Okay. So now there was a question. What is the question? Question about the activities of a dying man. So we discussed about Kramamukti in the previous chapter, chapter 2. That is, Kramamukti means gradual liberation. Then we also discussed about instant liberation through the methods of Paramatma meditation. Okay, but both of them we concluded that is impersonal. So in the last part of the second chapter, we did explain about Sukadeva Goswami talking importance of one should take up Bhakti Yoga, which is the real fastest direct liberation method. Okay, so that ended chapter 2. Now in chapter 3, now you can see, Parikshit Maharaj, you have inquired me as the duty of an intelligent man who is the threshold of death. So I have answered you. So that is done now. So this portion of it we discussed. So this is the most important part of the conclusion of the first sloka. Not all human beings are intelligent. So the importance of human life is not always understood. Now what does this mean? This refers to people who are on the platform or on the path which does not involve direct worship of Lord Vishnu. Okay? If there is no direct worship of Lord Vishnu, then you can conclude that people are not intelligent. Okay? Any paths outside of direct worship of Lord Vishnu will lead to different destination, different paths, different lives. And you can see variegatedness in the society today, right? The unlimited different paths, unlimited different thoughts. All these things, they arise out of sense perception. So why arise of sense perception? With senses is what I perceive. I see this external world. And when I see the senses in a particular direction, oh, these set of people are doing this set of people are doing this, then I want to go in that direction. So that is called as arise out of sense perception. Then accordingly, I build my thought process. But that is not the method the Shastra is referring to. We have to always remember these facts about what the Shastra is speaking, what a sadhu is speaking. If the Shastra and sadhu are pointing towards worship of Lord Vishnu or the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna, then why shall I look at all these methods? So one should guide their life under the directions of a practicing devotee. And that is what is important. Now, the practicing devotee is leading a life which are prescribed in the Vedic literatures. And where these Vedic literatures are coming from? It is coming from Lord himself, right? Lord in the form of a literary incarnation or sound incarnation as Veda Vyasa or Vyasadeva comes and writes all these articles, writes these expansions of the Vedanta, writes these Puranas, and gives us the real essence of life. So, all these scriptures are giving us one important direction is what? How will you awaken your genuine relationship with Krishna, which you have forgotten because of your association with material life? So that is the goal that we have to understand, what the scriptures are doing. So once we understand this goal, then we will become like what Parikshit. So hence Parikshit is called Manishina. Therefore, Manishina meaning thoughtful is particularly used here. A Manishinam person like Maharaj Parikshit must therefore take to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna and fully engage himself in devotion service of hearing and chanting. That is important. Of the holy name and pastimes of the Lord, which are all Hari Kathamrita. This action is especially recommended when one is preparing for death. See, one is preparing for death, no other methods are the right methods to practice. So if no other methods are right methods to practice, one should prepare for death right from the first day of his life. In fact, if you look at like Prahlad Maharaj, in the womb, he is getting prepared. He heard Harikatha in his womb and he started to prepare. That should be the real goal of life. Now, while explaining this, Parikshit Maharaj saw that there were many people in the arena who were thinking that, oh, you said either you should connect to Vishnu or devotees of Vishnu in order to make one's life perfect. Now, all these demigods are also servants of Vishnu. So, if they are also servants of Vishnu, what is wrong in connecting with the demigods? Why can't I do demigod worship? Right? So, this was the way. Hare Krishna. So, this is how the people in the audience have thought, which is very true, right? We might think, hey, anyway, Ganesha worships Vishnu. So, if I worship Ganesha, he'll give me the knowledge of Vishnu. Then I'll go to Vishnu. So, my problem is solved. Now, though that fact may be true, but what happens in reality is these demigods have somehow come in contact with the three modes of material nature. So they are influenced strongly by the Maya Shakti rather than the Yoga Maya Shakti. So that means demigod worship will lead to different kinds of results. It may not result to the same results as you worship Lord Vishnu. One. And secondly, when we worship demigods, because their consciousness on their platform is a little bit tinged or touched by the three modes of nature, you will see that your focus also changes, your desires also changes. Now, how does it change? So, for example, here in this sloka, it is said, one who desires to be absorbed in the impersonal Brahmajyoti effulgence should worship the master of the Vedas. Right? Now, in the last class, we discussed about Brahmajyoti. In Brahmajyoti, what happens? I am not able to fully realize Krishna because this effulgence is coming out of the body of Krishna. It is covering my eyes. That means even if I go to if I go to the spiritual planets, if I don't have Bhagavan realization, then I'll just see the effulgence of the Lord. The effulgence is covering the Lord. If the effulgence is covering the Lord, then I can't see the real form of the Lord. Now, why I can't see the real form of the Lord? How come a pure devotee is able to see the real form of the Lord, not the effulgence? So the effulgence acts as a media, as a transmission media, just like how you wear a glass, a black color glass you see, right? If you're wearing a black color glass and see something, you're going to see objects darker in nature. You're not going to see them bright. Why? Because of the wearing of the glasses. So the glasses are the impurity in your vision that obstructs the real quality of the vision. Now, what's the solution? Remove the glass. If you remove the glass, is equal to removing the impurity in the heart of one individual. Then you will see the truth. So that's what is the difference. So we, in the last Nityam Bhagavata Seva, also we took the pastime of Narayana Rishis. The sons of Brahmaji, when they went to see the Shirodakshaya Vishnu, right? They could not see the Lord. They only saw the effulgence of the Lord. But they saw others who were worshipping the Lord. That means the Lord is present. They are able to see the Lord. Who are the others? Others are the Vasis of that planet. So they were able to see. But I was not able to see the Lord. Why I was not able to see the Lord? Because of my impurity. What impurity? Material consciousness in my heart. What is material consciousness? Material consciousness leads to many things. One, that's what we will see today. Tivrena Bhakti Yogena. So, what is this Tivrena Bhakti Yogena? How does it come? How does material consciousness develop in our consciousness? We will see that later. Okay. Now, in this translation, you will see, based on my different aspects of my desire, I can go to a particular demigod and I can solve the problem. So, this translation is completely giving. So, there is like a table. So, what we'll do is we'll just do a quick tabling now. I'll just share an Excel sheet now. Okay. So in this Excel sheet, you will see, okay, let's call this as desire. Okay. Then whom to worship. Okay. So for example, Brahmajyoti. Am I sharing this for you? Yeah.
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhuji.
But the word, this thing is small, right? So let me increase it to size.
Correct.
Okay. I have a desire. Now what desire I have? Okay. So I want to do this Brahmajyoti, which is impersonal. Okay. So then I should worship who? Brahma. Brahma. Brahma.
Or Brihaspati.
Or Brihaspati, whatever it may be. Okay. Anyway, Brihaspati is son of Brahmaji, so it's okay. Now, I want to enjoy women. Okay. So now you see they're very beautiful women, a lot of these beautiful women. Oh, you know how beautiful they are. Why I did not get as my wife or whatever it may be, right? So the scripture says worship Indradev. Okay. You see the number of varieties that are there, and that's why Krishna created 33 crore demigods. It means 33 crore varieties of desires could be manifesting in different qualities and different quantities, right? So, for example, I want a good birth. So, good birth refers to Good birth refers to good parental, good, family, good time of birth. So all those things, right? So if you want to do good progeny or good birth, you have to do daksha. According to the translation here, right? I'm just reading the translation, I'm typing. I'm just going to write only few of them, the rest you can write, okay? So for example, I want to be very powerful. I want to be very powerful. So powerful means you can see. See, for example, you take some of our ministers. They're so powerful. Even though they do so much crime, you can't do anything to them because they're very powerful. And according to the sloka, who they worship?
Fire.
Fire. Yeah, fire. Correct. Right. So they worship fire. Now let's take example of someone wants to be beautiful. I want to be beautiful. Beautiful here meaning very beautiful features. For example, you can take Cleopatra, right? Or some of the other beauty queens. They look phenomenally beautiful, right? So then you have to worship the Gandharvas, right? So if you worship the Gandharvas, you will become very beautiful, right? Now you want to have a good wife, then you have to worship Parvati. Or here in the scripture it says, worship the Apsaras, right? One who desires a wife should worship Apsaras and Urvasi, society of the heavenly girls. So they should worship them, right? So this is the situation now. You keep on writing whatever desire you want. Lord has given that arrangement. You worship this person and you will get the benediction, right? You will get the benediction. If you want to be born in a great family, you must have seen many people are born in great families. Their family will be so big, very powerful families, lots of cousins, brothers, sisters, there's so big families there. You'll be wondering, how is that so big there and you're born in that family? That means they have worshipped the Pitrus very well, right? So like that, the list goes on. But is that the goal of our life? So let's go back to the sloka. Okay, let's see what the sloka says. Prabhupada writes very brilliant about this sloka. He says, the different modes of worship of different persons desiring success in a particular subject. I want to be a musician. I want to be a technocrat. I want to be a great sportsman. So that are the different particular subjects. And I want to be desiring success. And that will be different modes, right? Modes of goodness, passion, ignorance. So these three combinations. Then the conditioned soul living within the purview of material world cannot be an expert in every type of material enjoyable asset. Every type. That means there are 33 crore types of material enjoyable assets, and one person cannot be master of all. Not possible. But Prabhupada says, but one can have considerable influence over a particular matter by worshipping a particular demigod as above. That means in one area I can really excel. I will focus on that worship of that particular demigod and I will get that strength. That's what it says. Some of them, you see, he's an expert doctor. He touches, the patient gets cured. That's all. But he will not be an expert in any other fields of activity. Right? So, for example, you see, Sachin Tendulkar was a great cricketer, but he is not present in any other fields of activity. That's what it is. So now Prabhupada gives an example of Ravana. Now see what Ravana did. Ravana was made a very powerful man by worshipping Lord Shiva. And what he did, he used to cut his head and offer his head into the Yajna. That level he was worshipping. And of course, Shiva gave the head back. And he used to offer several heads to please Lord Shiva. He became so powerful by the grace of Lord Shiva that all demigods were afraid of him. Until he at last challenged the Supreme Personality of Ramachandra and thus ruined his life. Right? So, there are two statements here. Because he became powerful, all demigods were afraid of him. But when Lord Ramachandra came, he was not afraid of Ravana. He stopped. He put an end to his life. Right? So, this is what we have to understand. We have to understand is any aspects of lower forms of worship. Now, here demigods are used. I'm not talking about every forms of lower forms of worship will lead to poor results in this life or in the subsequent life. So one should take up the highest forms of worship, that is worshipping of Lord Vishnu. That is the conclusion here. Okay. So now that we've talked about so many powerful demigods, we'll also talk about Lord Shiva. Okay. Now, Shiva Tattva as such is very detailed, but I'm not going to go into very detailed Shiva Tattva because explanation of Shiva Tattva and who's his consort Parvati itself is phenomenal. Okay. Now, I want to give a basic understanding of what Shiva Tattva is and how powerful Shiva Tattva is. Okay. And because Shiva Tattva is so powerful that people who do not understand the difference between material and spiritual, they go to Lord Shiva. They think that if I go to temple, I'm spiritual. But what temple are you going? That defines. And what worship are you doing? That defines. Okay. So, for example, once we are born in this material world, we are fully controlled by Lord Shiva. All our material activities, which we are using material senses to engage in this lifetime, we are controlled by Shiva. So, for example, how my nose is grown, how my eyes is growing, how my lips are shaped up, is defined by Shiva. My material activities, what sort of activities I'll do daily? What is that? I will get profits out of my activities. Is defined by Shiva. That's why Shiva's influence on us is very high. That's why Trikala Sandhyavadana is very, very important. That is morning 6, afternoon 12, evening 6. What activities you do defines your life. I don't know how many of you saw this Mahanarshima Avatar movie also. The same thing, right? Kashyap and Diti. They united at the wrong time, evening 6 o'clock. He cautions her, this is not the time for unification. But still, of course, it's arrangement of the Lord. Well, let's not see the other aspect, but we'll see only the results of an activity. So even though she unified at 6 o'clock, what happened? The influence of Lord Shiva, saying that, okay, you're supposed to do Vishnu Bhakti, but you're practicing what is called as material enjoyment. Hence, you will get results. Now, because Kashyap Muni was such a great Rishi, a very powerful soul entered the womb of Diti. Ordinary people who are very weak, a very, very weak soul enters the womb of a woman. And that's why ordinary rowdies are born versus Hiranyakashipu, who was a great demon. Okay, so that is from Kala's standpoint. Let's look at the position of Lord Shiva. So Shiva is controlling every aspect of our life. But what does not control? He does not control our life once we take the spiritual activity. 95% of our life, let's say we do material, Shiva controls. But once I say, no, I want to chant Hari, I want to hear Hari Katha, I want to chant the holy name of Krishna, Shiva's influence stops. That is the liberty we have to choose in our life. So this is the realm between influence of demigod in our life versus what is that we can do in our life by our own desire. That is our spiritual life. Okay, so now position of Shiva. So Krishna expands into Balaram. Balaram is called Adi Guru. And Balaram expands into four quadruple expansions. So these 4 quadruple expansions, if you see, they are none other than Vasudeva, Shankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. Now, from Shankarshana happens 2 expansions. One is the Narayana or the Purusha expansion or Vishnu expansion, and also another expansion called Sadashiva. Now, Sadashiva is also Vishnu or equivalent to Vishnu. That's what I would say. Sadashiva is also equivalent to Vishnu. Sadashiva also is 400 form of the Lord. So it means, just like how you have different Vishnu planets, Vaikuntha planets, Sadashiva also has another planet by himself. Now, Lord has a duty on this material plane. He needs to perform certain regulations on this material plane. So what happens is Vishnu expands into multiple other expansion. Starts with Karanodakshaya Vishnu. Now Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is expansion of Pradyumna onto this material planet. Kshirodakshaya Vishnu is expansion of Aniruddha into this material planet. So that's how you see the Purusha avatar expansions are happening. Now, with this Purusha avatar, what's happening? Vishnu is taking the role of maintenance and Brahmaji is taking the role of creation. So this Vishnu, which is taking the role of maintenance, is what you see as Ananta Padmanabha Swami. Right? They have also the Vrata, no? So this Vrata that people take with Ananta Padmanabha Swami, you will see that is not purely transcendental. It is, what is it, Mishra. It is mixed. So that's not a good idea to do it. Okay? Am I making it complex or are you finding it difficult what I'm speaking? If it's difficult, I will not go detail into this.
It's okay, Prabhu. We are able to understand.
Fine, Prabhu. We can able to understand.
We can able to understand, Prabhu.
Any new participant you are not able to understand, you please tell me. I will not go detail into this because the subject is so deep.
No, Prabhu, you can proceed to be as detailed as possible.
So now, Vishnu expands into many Purusha avatars. That's what you see. You see, go to Vishnu temple, that you do worship, things like that. Then you have Brahmaji who's creating. So Vishnu is maintaining this, Brahmaji is creating. Now, Krishna wants anything in the material world to be temporary. He does not want it to be permanent. If the material world is also permanent, then people will not aspire to come to the spiritual world. Hence, the material world is made temporal. That means whatever is created in a matter of time, it will dissolve. That's what it means. So now, in order to do that, there are two things that happens. So let's understand position of Shiva. Who is Shiva? Okay. Now, the Sankarshana we talked about, right? Sankarshana is the source of expansion. That means Sankarshana expands into Sadashiva. So this Sankara, the Sankarshana is also called Shankara. So people think that Shankara is Shiva. Okay, that's why the word Shankara comes into the aspect in the Shiva Tattva, Shankara. So this Shankara is residing in a planet called Sadashiva Loka, which is purely transcendental. And you see, this expands into what is called as a Mahakala Loka, or Shiva, what you call the abode of Lord Shiva. Now, where does it exist in? If you see the material plane, there are 7 coverings of this material plane. Okay, we saw the detail in the Krama Mukti platform, right? The 7 layers of material world. Once the 7 layers of material world is complete or crossed over, you will see the last layer is the Brahmaloka. Now, once the last layer of Brahmaloka is also completed, once exit out of this material world, you will see the Viraja river that are passing. Once you cross the Viraja river, you come to the spiritual planets. That is where the spiritual planets exist. Now, this Shivaloka, the abode of Lord Shiva, is present 3/4 in the spiritual planet and 1/4 in the material planet. That is where Shankara, or expansions of Shankarshana, is present in the form of Lord Shiva. So that means you see, Lord Shiva's 3/4 presence in the spiritual plane and 1/4 present in the material plane. So he's sitting there and trying to manage this material world. Now, when Vishnu manifests the 3 modes, the 3 gunas from his body, the material energy, right? Once the material energy flow over this entire material creation, the material creation starts to agitate and the activities in the material plane begins. For example, see, I'm moving my hands, I'm doing some activity, I'm seeing here, I'm doing breathing, I'm eating, I'm running, whatever I'm doing is because of the combination of 3 gunas acting on us. And that's what is called as when Vishnu glances. That's what it happens. The life begins. So, what does this mean when Vishnu glances? The energy that created from the body of Vishnu comes in contact with Vishnu. And hence, the demigod's form of Lord Vishnu The demigods are all getting created. So, hence, Lord Shiva that we see. People say Sada Shiva, Shiva is one of the expansions of Rudra. So, whatever they want, they can say. But what Shiva Tattva says is very simple. Sada Shiva expands into Lord Shiva by contact of these three modes of material nature, and hence that Lord Shiva becomes material demigod. This is the position of Lord Shiva. Okay. Now, Lord Shiva, since he comes as a material demigod, he comes from the forehead of Brahmaji, his duty is devastation, and nothing else he does. So, you see the temporary nature of Lord Shiva also. So, we have to understand the source of Shiva and the temporary nature of Shiva. Now, you see Shiva doing two things, or three things he does, right? You must have seen that Shiva is also transcendental. Shiva is also giving modes of ignorance. And Lord Shiva is also meditating. Now, what is he meditating? He is meditating on his master, who's Shankara or Shankarshana. So, his master is Shankarshana. It is there in the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatham. Prabhupada is explained very, very clearly about this. So, Lord Shiva is always meditating on the Shankarshana form of the Lord, who's completely transcendental, and he is the quadruple expansion of Lord Balaram, and Balaram is expansion of Krishna. This is what you have to understand. Okay, you may want to hear this again after the lecture is over by playing this video, so you'll understand this more detailedly. But Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 10.8, what does he say? He says, I am the source of all incarnation. Aham sarvasya prabhu mattas sarvam pravartate. He says, I am the source of all incarnation. So to summarize, it's like this. Lord Krishna expands into Balaram. Balaram expands into four personalities. Vasudeva, Shankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. This Shankarshana expands into Sadashiva and Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu is the cause of the Purusha avatars. And while Shankarshana is by coming in contact with the Trigunas, Sadashiva manifests what is called as demigod Shiva onto this planet. And this demigod Shiva, along with Brahmaji and Vishnu, manage this entire material world of material activities. And at the end of the time of the duration of days, Lord Shiva destroys this material world. This is the sequence of understanding. If we want to have material benediction, then we connect to Lord Shiva. If we want spiritual benediction, we connect to Lord Vishnu. This is the detailing. Yes, Mataji, you had a question?
From the first expansion, we get to Mahavishnu, or from the second expansion, we get?
Second expansion. I didn't explain that because it will cause more confusion. So I didn't say that. So it is a second quadruple expansion. First quadruple expansion leads to Leela avatars. The second quadruple expansion leads to Purusha avatars. Hello?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. I got it. Thank you.
Okay, good. So this is the position of demigods. So when we worship demigods, we have to understand that we are asking something very, very temporary in nature. And Shiva being the head of all the demigods, you can understand that Shiva himself is going to destroy all the creation that we did. Why go after demigod worship? We are eternal. Our soul is eternal. We are eternal. Right? We read in the second chapter. The soul cannot be withered, cannot be put into fire, cannot be cut into pieces, cannot be done anything to. The soul is eternal. So why worship temporary things? Worship permanent things. A permanent is position of Lord Vishnu. Right? So that is the conclusion of this entire sloka. That is 2 to 9 or 2 to 7. Now here, if you look at it, see, this is what I'm going to read. Just see this portion I'm reading from you. Very interesting. Death is inevitable for everyone. There's no doubt about it. Death is going to happen today or tomorrow. For some people early, alpaisu. Some people are late. But does not mean someone lives for 200 years is better. No. In 200 years, what have you done is the most important thing. Okay. So death is inevitable for everyone. Intelligent or foolish, that means for everyone. Whoever it may be, he will die. But Parikshit Maharaj has been addressed by the Goswami as Manisi, or the man of highly developed mind. Because at the time of death, he left all material enjoyment and completely surrendered onto the lotus feet of the Lord by hearing his message from the right person, Sukadeva Goswami. So, there are two things great about Parikshit Maharaj's death. The first thing is, he is hearing the greatest subject, that is worship of the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. The second, he is hearing from the right source, that is Sukadeva Goswami. So this is very important for you to internalize in your heart. In my life, I shall hear the right subject. I'll also hear from the right source. When you combine these two, you see your spiritual realm just grows like anything. We also have a lot of these issues in the today's world on social media, on a lot of messages. Generally, what happens with devotees is non-devotees also, they play a role here to confuse people. They'll just pull articles, photographs, messages from various places and keep on publishing it, which leads to wrong thoughts and wrong conclusions. So we don't know what, whom, how. But we keep on seeing that, okay, this message looks good because we perceive it from our mind point of view. This message is good, I will read. This photo is good, I'll share with 10 people, 20 people, 100 people. That becomes the life of people on social media. But what is reality? Reality is one should be very careful as to what are we seeing, what are we not seeing. That content is very important because that content will influence your mind. So, one is practice of bhakti, and second is being careful in this path of practice of bhakti. These are the two messages I want to give here. Okay, let's repeat. One is practice of bhakti with knowledge, and second is, while in the practice of bhakti with knowledge, what is the path I'm taking? What am I connecting? With whom am I speaking? With what information that I am getting? Okay, so let's take an example. In Nectar of Instruction, we read the sloka, Dadadi Pratigranati. What does the sloka says? There are 6 loving exchanges between devotees. Now, in one of the loving exchanges, it says one should reveal their heart. So, for example, while revealing the heart, how do I reveal my heart with juniors? How do I reveal my heart with equals? How do I reveal my heart with seniors? With juniors, it's okay, nothing happens. But with equals, that is with friends, we get influenced a lot. Why? We get influenced with a herd mentality called, when my friend is doing, why I should not do, I should also do. Why he's doing. Competitive thoughts, we get into it. So, Shastra should be very clear. He may be doing it, but Shastra doesn't say, so I shall not do it. This is very, very important. And more dangerous is dealing with seniors. Seniors have the ability to influence us. Okay. Now, let's say a particular senior is following a wrong practice, and that influence also will influence our life. So, our knowledge in the scripture should be good, that we should know when I'm getting influenced and when I'm not getting influenced from senior. And accordingly, we should change our thought process. Very important. Otherwise, what happens? Oh, Prabhu, I've seen he's a great devotee, Prabhu. Yeah, I've seen him in that place, I've seen this place. We just carried away. But what is he? We don't know. So we should know the person, we should know the life of that person, and then influence. So, hence, that's why it is said, follow the life of Mahajanas, follow the life of Srila Prabhupada, follow the life of your Guru Maharaj. You will see they are not making mistakes, and you will see they are on the right path. Don't get carried away. That is very, very important. Okay. Then, so what did we talk about? We talk about, okay, Sukadeva Goswami, right. So eating prasadam. Okay, I'll not go there because we will get deviated from this topic. Okay, let's go to the next sloka, 3.8. Are we clear with demigod worship now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, so now Sukadeva Goswami is giving this detail that if some of you are thinking some demigod worship is good for me, he's only telling what will be the consequences and results of demigod worship and how one should deal with this matter. Okay, now for example, I have a dog with me. My dog is running away from me. Okay, I want to go to catch the dog. Okay, now the dog is running the western direction, but I am running the eastern direction. Can I catch my dog ever? Can I catch my dog? You
No,
cannot
Prabhu.
catch my dog. So similarly, the material activities take you away from Krishna. Spiritual activities take you closer to Krishna. If Krishna is in the western direction, and that is all spiritual activities, and if material activities are in the eastern direction, and that is taking away from Krishna, by you walking the path of material activities, how will you get Krishna Bhakti? You are in the opposite direction. Not possible. Right? So, you should understand the position of transcendental and position of material. They're on the opposite direction. How you can say I'll go success in the material life, but I will also get Krishna Bhakti? Not possible. You will read that more now in subsequent slokas. Using
Dandavat
material
Pranam, Prabhu.
energy. Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, I have a small doubt, Prabhu. Our endeavor is to return home, back
Yes.
to Godhead.
Yes.
As a part and fragment of the super soul, when and how did we drift away from there to again attempt to go to Godhead back? In the first place,
That is a deeper subject, Prabhu. We
yeah,
will
yes.
take, when you get time, no, you call me or phone,
Yes.
I will explain you.
Okay, Prabhu.
That's it will take us away from the topic now.
Okay, Prabhu.
Okay, but that's a deeper subject we can discuss. Maybe if you come this Sunday to the center, I can explain that in the center also to you what happened.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. Okay, let's read the next sloka now. So, very important. If Krishna's direction is west, you can't walk the eastern direction. You have to walk the same direction as Krishna. That's when you'll get Krishna Bhakti. So, remember this. So, which means Anukulyana Krishnanusilanam Bhakti Ruttama is very, very important. What my life is it favorable to Krishna conscious? Or if my life is anti-Krishna conscious? You have to evaluate that. Okay? 3.8. Dharmartha uttama slokam tantuhu tanvan pritanyajed rakshakama punya janan ojaskama marudganan. One should worship Lord Vishnu or his devotee for spiritual advancement in knowledge. And for protection of hereditary and advancement of dynasty, one should worship the various demigods. There are two statements here. If I want spiritual knowledge and advancement in that, I shall worship Vishnu. That is the Western direction. If I want, a great family lineage, I want to be part of a super dynasty, I shall worship various demigods. And that is the Eastern direction. Okay. This is very nice purport. Can someone read the purports?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat
Any
Pranam.
newcomer is there? We shall
Hare
ask.
Krishna, Prabhu. I can read, Prabhu.
Yes.
Okay. Can we give this chance to Sindhu Mataji? Then we can give chance to others. Is it okay?
Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sindhu,
Prabhu.
please read. Yeah.
Left side, the path of religion. From that way I should read, Prabhuji.
Please read.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanyavad Pranam. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. The path of religion entails making progress on the path of spiritual advancement, ultimately reviving the eternal relation with Lord Vishnu in his impersonal effulgence, his localized Paramatma feature, and ultimately his personal feature by spiritual advancement in knowledge. And one who wants to establish a good dynasty and be happy in the progress of temporary bodily relations should take shelter of the Pithas and the demigods in other pious planets. Such different classes of worshippers of different demigods may ultimately reach the respective planets of those demigods within the universe. But he who reaches the spiritual planets in the Brahma Jyoti achieves the highest perfection. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank you so
Krishna.
much.
Right? So if I worship a particular demigod, they have a house. Just like we have a house, they also have a house. And their house is much bigger. Right? It's a planet itself. Our house is 60-40 site. But their house is a city or a continent or a planet like that. So if I keep worshipping the demigods, I will go there. He said, oh, you kept on asking me. So Lord Krishna's Bhakta Vatsal in your heart, show the path to come to me and you come to my house. Okay, you can be a gardener in my house or a cook in my house or whatever it may be, and you can serve me. I'm fine with it. That's what the demigod will say. So it is just like going and working in the house of a zamindar. Right? Oh, this zamindar is very rich. He's got a lot of money. He's very powerful. So I worked in his house. But the day came the zamindar died, all the opulence of that house, everything went away. So I was also thrown out of the job. So I lost everything once the zamindar died. So in Brahma's life, there is something called as Manmantra. Okay, there are 14 Manmantras in life of Brahmaji's 1000 Chaturvyas. Okay. So one Manmantra, if it completes, then that Indra position will change. The Indra will fall down, or he will get liberated because whatever his devotion is. Whoever demigod is there, he will also change. Now, Manvantara, you can consider it as like 5 years time frame. For example, today in our parliament, once 5 years over, the re-election will happen, the minister will lose his position, whether he's CM or whatever minister he may be, including PM, whatever minister he may, he will lose his position. And he will become ordinary citizen. A new person will come. So similarly, a particular demigod, once the Manvantara is over, he loses his position and another person will occupy that position of a Vayu Bhagavan or Agni Bhagavan. Like that, he will occupy that position. So, what it says, you worship the particular, let's say you worship Vayu Bhagavan in the current Manvantara. So, you in the after death, you will go to Vayu Bhagavan's house as a servant. After the Manvantara is over, the Vayu Bhagavan loses position, then you will also lose the position in that planet. You will again fall down. So this is what is going on eternally in the life of a devotee. That's what it says. Such different classes of worship of different demigods may ultimately reach the respective planets of those demigods within the universe. That means in the material nature. But who reaches the spiritual sky? Avyakto akshara iti vuktastam mahu paramam gatim. Right? He says, reaches the spiritual planet, reaches highest perfect. He never returns back to this world. Okay? So this is the conclusion. Let's go to sloka number 9. Rajyakamo manum devan nirityam tva avicharan yajet kama kamo yajet somam akama purusham param. He says akama purusham param. Let's see the word akama. Akama means what? Lust, desire. Akama means one who does not have a material desire. That's what is akama. So he says akama purusham param. Supreme Personality of Godhead is akama. Let us see what is it. Translation. One who desires domination over a kingdom or an empire should worship the Manus. That means he wants to be a king. You've seen many kings, no? The Middle East, all they have kings. India had a lot of kings. There were many kings. Even if you see Western Europe, there were many kings in the
Hare
past.
Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Sorry to interrupt you, Prabhu.
Sure, Mataji.
The previous verse, sorry to go back also.
No problem.
In that you.
Dharmartha Uttama Slokam. Yes, Mataji.
You changed that, Prabhu. Where is it?
Okay, here. Yeah.
But he who reaches the spiritual planets in the Brahma Jyoti arrives at highest perfection, means the planets inside the Brahma Jyoti, na?
Yes, correct.
That is all this
So the spiritual world, Mataji.
Ramaloka.
Yeah, correct. The spiritual world, no? There are thousands of spiritual planets. Like what you said, Ramaloka or Ayodhya Loka or
Ayodhya.
Loka, like that different Vaikuntha planets are there. In between the Vaikuntha planets, how are they floating in the Vaikuntha planets? They're floating in Brahma Jyoti.
All are floating in the Brahma Jyoti. Okay.
Yes. Including Goloka. So this Brahma Jyoti is coming from body of Krishna. So Krishna is the one who's making all the spiritual planets to float. So you're not going to Brahma Jyoti, but you're going to a particular planet which is floating in Brahma Jyoti. And in the planet, who is there? Different incarnations of Vishnu are present. And lectures or scriptures say that achieving that planet is called perfection.
Yeah, but Brahma's planet is also known as Brahma Jyoti.
Brahma's planet, Brahma doesn't have a planet. Brahma only has a plane, and that is in material universe. Just like Earth is present as Martya Loka in the middle, Brahma's planet is located on the top of the material plane, which is within this universe.
But that also we call Brahma Jyoti.
That Brahma Jyoti is material in nature. It is not transcendental. Okay. And that Brahma Jyoti is what these impersonal liberation people achieve. They don't achieve Brahma Jyoti in the spiritual planets. This Brahma Jyoti is nothing but ether. We say no, Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu. That ether. And Brahma Jyoti does not have Krishna in it.
This Brahma Jyoti.
Yes. It is just called voidism. Nothing else. Okay? Then you will see what is life here. I thought Brahma Jyoti is ultimate. When I come here, there's no activity, there's no variety. Everything is just shunyam. Everything is null. What is the life here? It cannot satisfy the heart of the soul. It can't satisfy the soul because soul wants variety. So when Krishna performs different pastimes, we get nourished. So the soul wants variety. But it sees everything is null and void. What else is there? Nothing. Everything is white here. What shall I do here? How long I'll be here? So Mahaprabhu says, Kaivalyam narakayate, he uses the word. It means it is so devastating that I can't live here. What is that I'll do here? Then he screams out of agony and pain to the Creator. You see that last sloka in Gajendra Moksha, where Gajendra elephant is just taking that lotus feet and say, whoever is that creator, whoever is that supreme personality of Godhead, who is the universal head, to him I am offering that. Like that, out of depression, out of this one, he says, whoever is that Lord, whoever is the creator, please help me. With that agony, they'll offer that prayer. And that is when Krishna will say, okay, so now I'll give you another chance. Now we understand that Lord is not impersonal. So he'll teach that lesson, Lord is not impersonal. Then he gives us a chance. We come back to this material world and practice bhakti on Archa Vigraha. So someone practicing bhakti on Archa Vigraha is considered to be a very advanced person. That means he's already done many mistakes in the material life. Okay, Mataji, clear?
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes. Okay, let's read 3.9. Rajyakamo manundevan nirrityam tva avicharan yajet kamo yajet somam akama purusham param. The video got stopped. Okay. One who desires domination over a kingdom or an empire should worship the Manus. So if they worship the Manus, they become kings. One who desires victory over enemy should worship the demons. One who desires sense gratification should worship the moon, Chandra, Soma. But one who desires nothing of material enjoyment should worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay? That is akama. So, by worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we are not asking Him, oh Lord, whatever I want in my life, you decide. How much, what, when. You decide. And since you are the supplier to this whole world, you supply every aspect of whatever we want in this life, you will take care of me. And my duty is to just worship you with love and devotion. That's all. So that he says is perfection, because now we are giving the Lord, it's your responsibility now to decide what should be my end life. I am no more desiring anything material. I am not desiring anything material. That's the message that we are going to give the Lord by practicing Bhakti Yoga. Okay? So Prabhupada gives the famous example of purchasing a ticket. I want to go to Bombay. I am purchasing a ticket for Bombay. If I board the bus or the train or the aircraft, I will reach Bombay. Now, let's say I'm purchasing a ticket for New Delhi, but I'm hoping to reach Bombay. Can I reach? I cannot. So, similarly, any forms of demigod worship will reach me their destination only. If I read an author's book, I will develop the consciousness of the author because the author is presenting his consciousness in this book and we're reading that book in detail. So hence what we read is important. We'll develop the consciousness of the author. For example, eating prasadam. When I eat prasadam made by a particular person, or I would say boga, prepared by a particular person, I am going to take the consciousness of that person. So it's very important to eat Krishna prasad. If we keep eating non-Krishna prasad, whoever is the cook, whether he is a drunkard or not, whether he is an atheist or not, whether an impersonal or not, devotee or not, I don't know. That consciousness we will develop. So that's why devotees are very careful about what ticket they purchase. I want ticket to Vishnu Loka, so hence I will practice and do things that are connected to Vishnu. You must have read that in the Brahmana cult, for example, you take Madhav Brahmins or different kinds of Brahmins are there. So if you take any of these cults, they will say you cannot cross the ocean of Bharatavarsha. Okay, you cannot cross the ocean overseas. Then anyone who goes to the West, things like that, they have such commentary. So why? What happened? So that means in this life, instead of practicing Vishnu Bhakti in Bharatavarsha, you're trying to do other things by crossing overseas. So when you cross overseas and practice other things, that means you're in the wrong direction of your life. How you can come to Krishna Bhakti? So very, very important to understand these finer aspects. If you understand the spirit behind an instruction, then you will see the detailness of the instruction. Even the difference between reading Srimad Bhagavatam. If you read Srimad Bhagavatam because, I'm supposed to read, I'll finish 20 slokas today, 30 slokas today, 40 slokas today, you would have completed reading, but nothing would have gotten because that was your desire. If your desire to read Srimad Bhagavatam is capture this example, capture this story, capture that, go and tell to others and make money out of it, and Krishna will reveal that from Srimad Bhagavatam. You got the point? Now, if you read Srimad Bhagavatam to say, Prabhu, somehow I want to give a super class today. I want to read Srimad Bhagavatam in that mood. You will give a class, but you will not transform. So when will you transform? When you read Srimad Bhagavatam with love for Krishna. I want to genuinely serve you, Krishna. What is your message for me? Please open my Jnana Chakshu, my spiritual eyes. Give me that. If you read Srimad Bhagavatam in that context, then Krishna will open up the devotional aspect in your heart. So, the intent of Srimad Bhagavatam is very important. That is called empiric speculation. That is the difference between Jnana Yoga practice and Bhakti Yoga practice. What are you speculating on? What do you want from Srimad Bhagavatam? Do you love Srimad Bhagavatam? or do you use this book for some other purpose? So, activity is one, intent is another. That's my point of conclusion. Many devotees prepare bhoga and offer to the Lord. But activity could be great, but what is the intent? So, bhakti yoga lies in the intent and not in the activity.
Mm.
That is the conclusion here. Is the message clear? However, Lord Vishnu is very, very, very merciful for us. What does he say? Even though you have material intent in you, instead of going to demigod, still come to me. I will fulfill your material desire, but in the process of fulfilling material desire, I'll also cleanse your material desire. That way you will advance in spiritual life. And that's what Lord tells in the Bhagavad Gita also. Still come to me. Chaturveda said, four kinds of people, they come to me. But when they come to me based on their different desires of depressed, to acquire, to speculate, intelligence, devotion, whatever it may be, I purify them. So going to Lord Vishnu is much more intelligent than not going to Lord Vishnu for whatever may be our situation. Chaturvida se je bhajante mam jana shukritino arjuna artho jignashur arthati jnani cha paradarshava. Okay. So that is the understanding of the previous sloka. Now let's come to the sloka 10. Now 10, 11, 12, Krishna is going to talk about Bhakti Yoga. What is the real crux of Bhakti Yoga? Now he explained the process of demigod worship. That means you do this demigod, you will get this benefit. This demigod, this benefit. Okay. Now, by doing that, what are the consequences is what Sukadeva Goswami explained in sloka number 8, 9. He explained the consequences of demigod worship. Then in 10, 11, 12, he is going to conclude about what are the aspects of Bhakti Yoga realm. This is a very important sloka 3.10. You should all mug it up, or we should all mug it up. Okay, let's all mug up now. 3.10. Akama Sharva Kamo Va.
Akama Sarva Kama
Moksha Kama Udaradihi.
Moksha kama udaladihi.
Tivrena Bhakti Yogena.
Tivrena bhakti yogena
Yajate Purusham Param.
Yajeta
purusham
purusham
param.
param.
Okay, so go home, recite, mug up the sloka also. Okay. Akama Sharva Kamo Va Moksha Kama Udaradihi Tivrena Bhakti Yogena Yajate Purusham Param. Translation: a person who has broader intelligence. Now look at the word Prabhupada uses. He uses broader intelligence. Whether he be full of material desire, without any material desire, or desiring liberation, must by all means worship the Supreme Whole, the Personality of Godhead. That's what he says. That means, irrespective of your material position, whether your desires are purified or not, Prabhupada is saying that you should worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead only. He says, Tivrena Bhakti Yogena, Tivra Bhakti. If you go on practicing Bhakti Yoga, then what happens? All your material desires will get purified. You will see you are living in this material world, but you are very, very detached in this material world. That means presence or absence of anything in this material world is not going to disturb you. That devotee, you will see, he'll be nidira. He'll be full of without any disturbance, very steady state in his consciousness. So what happens in our life? Sometimes we will see our near and dear may go away from us. Sometimes we may see that we may take a financial or an economic problem. Sometimes we may see that there is a pandemic disease. Sometimes we may see we are put into difficulty by others in terms of respect or in terms of dealing unparliamentary behavior, all those things could be there. In all these things, dhirastatrana muyati. I will be very stable in my practice because I am focused on the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. That is the benefit of practice of Bhakti Yoga. It cannot be realized in the first stage, but it can be realized gradually. And that gradually depends on how strong your Bhakti Yoga practices are. If Bhakti Yoga practices are very, very shallow, then your realization may take a longer time. Instead of 1 year, you may take 20 years or 50 years or even many births. That's why Krishna says in chapter 8, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate. To realize that I have to surrender to Vishnu, I may take many, many births also. So this is the most important thing that ones have to understand. Okay, we'll read this purport very nicely. This is a super purport. Okay, Prabhupada explains what is Tivrena, what is Akama, Sarvakama, Mokshakama. Then he also explains what is Udaradihi. Very beautifully Prabhupada explains. So we'll read this entire purport, paragraph for paragraph. Each of you can take one paragraph and read. We'll completely understand this sloka for today. Okay, purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Can someone read the first paragraph?
Hare Krishna Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, is described in the Bhagavad Gita as Purushottama, or the Supreme Personality. It is He only who can award liberation to the impersonalist by absorbing such aspirants in the Brahmajyoti, the bodily race of Lord. The Brahmajyoti is not separate from the Lord, as the glowing sun rays is not independent of the sun disk. Therefore, one who desires to merge into the Supreme impersonal Brahmajyoti must also worship the Lord by Bhakti Yoga. As recommended,
We saw this in the previous Ashtanga Yoga chapters, what we saw, even though they're doing Ashtanga Yoga, but they're meditating on some aspect of the Lord, either Brahman or Paramatma. That's also Lord in different format. So that means in whatever aspect of our life also, we have to worship the Lord directly or indirectly. That's what it is. Okay. Bhakti Yoga.
Bhakti Yoga. As recommended here in Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhakti Yoga is especially stressed here as the means of all perfection. In the previous chapters, it has been stated that Bhakti Yoga is the ultimate goal of both Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. And in the same way, in this chapter, it is emphatically declared that Bhakti Yoga is the ultimate goal of different varieties of worship of the different demigods. Bhakti Yoga, thus being the supreme means of
self-realization, recommended here. Here, recommended here. Harwal?
Hare Krishna, sorry, bro. It recommended here. Everyone must therefore seriously take up the method of Bhakti Yoga, even though one aspires for material enjoyment or liberation from material bondage. Hare
Krishna. So as preachers, this is a very important point for you. Many of the preachers, they used to come and complain to me, see Prabhu, how much ever we are telling, no, they are doing some chanting, but they still do all material activities and things like that. So my point to the preachers is, give them the time. Okay? Their chanting of the holy name will purify their material activities. That means you may expect them to become devotees in 1 month, but they may take few years. That's okay. Give them that space. Why? Because their previous lifestyles, their previous karmas that they're carrying forward will make them to become slower. So give them the time. But keep guiding them. That's my point. So do not get disturbed by some devotee practice, in doing some material activities. It is just a matter of time they'll get purified. But they're chanting the holy name, that's important. Okay? That's the conclusion for the preachers. Now next, someone else can come forward to read. Now we'll read what is Akama, Sarvakama, Mokshakama. We'll read all these three.
Hare Krishna. Shall I read?
Read.
Akama is one who has no material desire. A living being naturally being the part and parcel of the supreme whole, Purusham Purnam, has as his natural function to serve the supreme being, just as the parts and parcels of the body or the limbs of the body are naturally meant to serve the complete body. Desireless means, therefore, not to be inert like the stone, but to be conscious of one's actual position and thus desire satisfaction only from the Supreme Lord. Srila Jiva Goswami has explained this desirelessness as Bhajaniya Parama Purusha Sukhamatra Sukhatvam in his Sandarbha. This means that one should feel happy only by experiencing the happiness of the Supreme Lord. This intuition of the living being is sometimes manifested even during the conditioned stage of a living being in the material world, and such intuition is expressed in the manner of altruism, philanthropy, socialism, communism, etc., by the undeveloped minds of less intelligent persons. In the mundane field, such an outlook of doing good to others in the form of society, community, family, country, or humanity is a partial manifestation of the same original feeling in which a pure living entity feels happiness by the happiness of the Supreme Lord. Such superb feelings were exhibited by the dancers of Vrajabhumi for the happiness of the Lord. The gopis loved the Lord without any return, and this is the perfect exhibition of the Akama spirit. Kama spirit
That's
or the
common spirit, read.
Kama spirit or the desire for one's own satisfaction is fully exhibited in the material world, whereas the spirit of Akamaha is fully exhibited in the spiritual world. Hari Hari. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. So what is akama? Kama means having desires. Lusty desires or material desire is called kama. Akama means not having material desires. Now, if you're not having material desire, what desire you can possess? You cannot be without desire because that's the nature of the soul. The nature of the soul is to desire. But you cannot be without desire. It is against the design and the function of the soul. So you need to have desire, but that's not material nature, but that is spiritual or transcendental in nature. Right? So here, look at it. Superb feelings were exhibited damsels of Vrajabhumi. They expressed extreme happiness. They expressed so much of love for that Supreme Lord Krishna. Now, what they did, they had super feeling damsels because they were planning activities that are for happiness of the Lord, not for themselves. Doing for ourselves is kama. Doing for the pleasure of the Lord is akama. That's what you have to understand. The gopis loved the Lord without any return. And this is the perfect exhibition of akama. Spirit. Kama spirit or the desire for one's own satisfaction is fully exhibited in this material world, whereas the spirit of akama is exhibited in the spiritual world. Okay, so when we act for the pleasure of the Lord, it becomes akama. Now, then you may be asking a question, what Prabhu, you're telling I should not have any desire? Can I not eat what I want to eat? Should I always eat what the Lord wants me to eat? Is that the way it is? No, my point is this. Why are you eating? To fill your belly and to nourish your taste buds, sense gratification. So it's combination of need, health, and sense gratification. That's what, why are you eating? Now, what the Lord is saying, when you serve me, serving the whole, I will reciprocate with that same pleasure, or maybe infinite times that pleasure, because you've served me with akama. So that means whatever sensory pleasure that we're looking at, we are already satisfied and fulfilled by serving them. That's what the Lord is trying to tell. Advanced devotees have realized, and that's why they're happy. Neophytes have not realized, that's why they're unhappy. That's the point here. Okay. Now we'll go to the last paragraph. Last two paragraphs. Okay. Can I have another reader come forward?
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, we'll take Mataji and the next we'll take Prabhuji. Who wants to? Which Mataji said?
becoming one with the Lord or being lost in the Brahma Jyoti can also be exhibitions of Kama spirit if they are desires for one's own satisfaction to be free from the material miseries. A pure devotee does not want liberation so that he may be relieved from the miseries of life. Even without so called liberation, a pure devotee is aspirant for the satisfaction of the Lord. Influenced by the Kama spirit, Arjuna declined to fight in the Kurukshetra battlefield because he wanted to save his relatives for his own satisfaction. But being a pure devotee, he agreed to fight on the instruction of the Lord because he came to his senses and realized that satisfaction of the Lord at the cost of his own satisfaction was his prime duty. Thus he became akama. That is the perfect stage of perfect living being. Hare Krishna.
Great example, no? Initially, Arjuna fought and he said, no, I don't want to fight this war because I'll kill my cousins, my guru, my pitamaha, my friends, my kingsmen, all these people. Then he said, oh, that is all my satisfaction I'm doing. I'm doing according to my senses and my needs. But my life is not about me, it's about Krishna, who is my supreme goal of life or the supreme enjoyer of this entire creation. So, my prime duty is to satisfy him. What does he want? So he's asking, Krishna, you tell me what do you want? Instruct me. What did Krishna say? Krishna said, do an activity for my pleasure. Then he said, okay, your activity is to make this war, I will do. Because Krishna said, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirvavati bharata. So Krishna, that's the key message of Bhagavad Gita, that you want to do for Bhagavan in the Mahabharata war. So he said, okay, I'll accept. He left his personal desire and took the Gandiva to fight for the pleasure of the Lord. He became perfect. Same thing in our life. We may have 1,000 things, but let's let it go. And let's do things what the Lord wants us to do. And that is akama. Okay. Now, Udaradihi is also we read. Right? Now, Prabhupada explains what is Udaradihi. Very, very beautiful explanation. We'll read this also. We'll try to conclude. Someone read Udaradihi on Prabhuji can side.
Shall I read, Prabhu?
Read, Prabhu.
Udaradihi means one who has a broader outlook. People who desires for material enjoyment worship small demigods, and such intelligence is condemned in the Bhagavad Gita 7.20 as Hritadana, the intelligence of one who has lost his senses. One cannot obtain any result from demigods without getting sanction from the Supreme Lord. Therefore, a person with a broader outlook can see that the ultimate authority is the Lord. Even for material benefits, under the circumstances, one with a broader outlook, even with the desire for material enjoyment or for liberation, should take to the worship of Lord directly. And everyone, whether an akama or sakama or mokshakama.
Pause here, Prabhu. Pause here. See, akama means material desire, without material desire. Sakama means all kinds of desire. Mokshakama means one who's searching for liberation.
Yes,
Prabhu. He's desiring for liberation. That's what it means. Okay. Then should worship.
Sakama means all desires, including akama, Prabhu.
Yeah, both the spiritual and transcendental.
Okay, Prabhu. So, akama, sakama or mokshakama should worship the Lord with great expedience. This implies that Bhakti Yoga may be perfectly administered without any mixture of karma and gnana, as the unmixed sun ray is very forceful and is therefore called Tivra. Similarly, unmixed Bhakti Yoga of hearing, chanting, etc. may be performed by one and all regardless of inner motive. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so the conclusion is very simple. We may have any kinds of heart impurification or desire, whether it can be akama, mokshakama, sarvakama, it doesn't matter. But what does matter is let's develop the broader outlook. What is the broader outlook? I may see that my demigod is giving, or my father is giving, or my brother is giving me some benediction. But what is the cause? How did my father get? How did my brother get to give me? How did the demigod is able to offer me this benediction is because of the Supreme Personal Godhead who's behind. Okay, who's behind? Because he is behind, the activities of this demigod and this person is all happening. So we know the sloka from the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is that sloka, which says, Krishna is like a thread in the jewel. The jewel is what is visible to us, but the thread is not visible to us. But once the thread is cut, the jewel will no more have its beauty, which is that sloka. No?
Sutre Manigana Iva.
But what is the starting of the sloka? You gave the ending of the sloka.
Matta parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya mai sharvam idam proktam shutre manigana iva.
Matta parataram nanyat. Right? So he says, I am the cause of everything that is happening, but people are not able to perceive me. Just like how the thread which is behind the jewel is holding the jewel and giving the beauty to the jewel. If not for Krishna, the jewel cannot be together and it loses its beauty. It will just be like separated diamonds and pearls and beads. So similarly in our life also, we may get some benediction from a demigod. We may get some benediction from our ancestors or from our cousins or brother or from the government. But the cause behind them is Krishna. And that is called the broader outlook. And that's what is called Udaratihi. Okay? Not knowing this is called Kritajnana. That means a person who's got his intelligence and lost his senses. Misdirected intelligence, it is called. Okay? So now let's go back to the same sloka and then read the sloka once again so that you can reflect on what we discussed in the purport. Akama sharva kamo va moksha kama udaridihi. So whatever may be the kind of kama that I may possess, material, non-material, liberation, this, that, all those things. If you have a broader perspective, then you'll understand the cause of all causes is Krishna, and my duty is to serve him and to worship him and to surrender unto him. That's what the meaning of akama sharva kama moksha kama udaradihi. Then tivrena bhakti yogana. How to achieve that? Tivrena bhakti yogana. One pointed attention. I have to practice bhakti yoga. Bereft of jnana and karma. That is what it is. Then yajate purusham param. So what is yajate purusham param? Should worship that Supreme Lord who is, complete in all aspects of what we want in our life. We should worship him. And how do we worship him? We should worship him for his pleasure, not for my satisfaction. If you change that in our consciousness, or whatever I do for his pleasure, then whatever mantras you recite, you'll recite properly. Whatever efforts that you're doing, you'll do it properly. Whatever services you will do, that you will see there's no compromise in your service. Oh, I'm doing it for pleasure of Krishna. It should be top class. Like that, you will see small things that you will do is also perfect for the pleasure of the Lord. You will not have a compromise. Then you will see the quality of life changes. Yeah. So you will not do for the sake of it, but you will do with a lot of love and devotion. That's what the sloka will lead to. Okay, are we good?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
There is a sloka na Prabhu. Atmendriya priti vancha tara bali kama. Krishnendriya priti icha tara prema nama.
Very nice sloka, but I don't know this sloka. Where is this sloka from, Mataji?
It's from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Prabhu.
Oh, very nice. Good. So that is the conclusion. So now Sukadeva Goswami is taking us now to the next level. So first he did all impersonal, then he talked about Ashtanga Yoga. He completed all those things. Now he's having doubts. Oh, you have doubts of demigod worship? I'll clear that also. So he cleared demigod worship also. Then he gave the conclusion of. So that's why what happens, if you look the entire purports, the entire construct of Srimad Bhagavatam, every topic they will take. They'll take Ashtanga Yoga, they'll say, this is the Ashtanga Yoga and this is the result of Ashtanga Yoga, but don't do this, practice Bhakti Yoga. They'll take impersonal, liberation thoughts. They'll say, this is impersonal liberation thoughts, this is the result of impersonal practices, but don't do the practice Bhakti Yoga. Now he's talking about demigods. This is the position of demigods. When you worship demigods, this is what you get. But that is not good for you. Don't practice it. Practice Bhakti Yoga. That's why you see conclusion of Bhakti Yoga comes in every topic of discussion that we do. Because it is supreme and it is pure. Okay. Are we good? So your
Yes,
homework will
Prabhu. Yes,
be
Prabhu.
sloka number 11 and 12 because it is a continuation of sloka number 10, which concludes the glory of Bhakti Yoga. So for now, the sloka to remember is 3.10 Akama, Sarvakama, Mokshakama va Udaridihi. So that's the sloka that we have to mug up. So please mug it up. Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? We'll take it. Otherwise, we'll end the class.
Hare
And
Krishna, I have one.
today is fasting till noon. So please worship Lord Balaram nicely. And today is also a day for changing your Brahminical thread. So whoever is not done, please go do it now. Change your Brahminical thread. And worship to Lord Balaram. Because Balaram, what does he do? He is Adi Guru. Okay. So whatever knowledge, whatever paraphernalia, whatever opulence we are possessing is the mercy of Balaramji. And what does he do? Whatever knowledge, opulence, everything that he possesses, he uses in service of Krishna. And it is his opulence that we have derived. So we shall also use our opulence, our knowledge, our indriyas, our knowledge gathering senses, whatever we have in service of that same Lord Krishna. That's how we make our life perfect. When we have such thoughts today, Balramji will be very happy and he will benedict us more. Okay? Yes. Any questions? We'll take one
I
question.
have one question.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhu, I don't know whether I'm right or wrong, because yesterday was Varalakshmi Vrata, and like after coming here, it's not that I'm against Lakshmi or anything like that. I do pray, make some sweet and offer to the Lord, and those things I do. But I didn't go out to perform this Vrata and all that. But I'm not against anybody doing it. But I don't have any that interest to do that. Is that okay? Or
Yeah, that's perfect. That means you're progressing. See, what is Varalakshmi Vrata? On this day, when you please Mahalakshmi, she'll benedict you with opulence. Okay, so that's the Samman Bonam of Varmahalakshmi Vrata. So now what you're doing today is you're telling, oh Mahalakshmi, I want to just thank you for whatever you've already done to me. So as a thank you, as a gesture, as a gratitude, you can offer some boga, or you can please her by reciting some verses that pleases her. But that's it. That ends there. We don't carry on with that vrata and all other things. So for example, what I do is I don't worship Lakshmi. I always worship Lakshmi Narayana. So on the altar, we bring the deities of Lakshmi Narayana on the altar. And we decorate her very nicely and things like that. We just do our Aarti. When we do the Aarti, we will also include them in the Aarti by showing all the 7 items in the Aarti for them. And then we finish the worship. When we do Bhoga offering, we also do Bhoga offering for them. And then we are done. We don't do any other forms of worship. And they go inside, they'll appear next year. So this is like respecting them on the special day which is dedicated for them. It's like someone saying good words about you on your birthday. This is like respecting them on the special day for them. That's it. And Krishna likes that. Okay. When we respect Lord Shiva, Krishna likes us. When we respect the demigods, Krishna likes us. But when we see the demigods with that clarity, broader view, Udaradihi, Krishna likes us. So this is Shastra. This is knowledge. Okay, Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes,
Prabhu, I have one question, Prabhu. Prabhu, in today's verses we read, we finally concluded that when we are free of material enjoyment, that means when we don't desire any material enjoyment, finally we should worship Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yes.
Right, Prabhu? But
yes.
In verse number 2.9, Prabhu, it is said that one who desires victory over an enemy should worship the demons, Prabhu? I could not understand this.
I mean, what it says is the demons will give you immense strength to come over your opponents. Okay. So it's another form of demigod worship, that's all. What is demigod? What is the meaning of demigod? Demigod means lower gods.
Okay.
Okay. They are not supreme gods. They are called lower. Lower means demi. Okay. So these Rakshasas have immense strength. That is their biggest benediction they have. Okay, that's why you see in the wars also between demigods and the Rakshasas defeat the demigods also. And Krishna will take a special avatar or something, he'll come and protect the demigods and kill the Rakshasas. That's what happened. So now you want more strength, they're saying worship the Rakshasas, they'll give you, that means you will get demonic qualities along with it. That's what it means.
Okay. So in Sirsi and other places, they worship on Bhuta Rakshasa like that, Prabhu. Is that the
all wrong. Okay. They want something, they're doing it. Okay. Yes, Sindhu Mataji, you have a question?
Babaji, Hare Krishna.
Ah.
Today my mother's funeral is there. So me and my brother is going to Srirangpatna, but today is Janvara festival, right, Prabhu?
Yeah.
So he needs to change his Janvara thread, or I have a doubt.
First attend the funeral, finish all the funeral process, come back, take a full bath, and then offer this thread to Lord Jagannath or Lord Krishna, like that, and then ask him to change the Janvara.
Prabhu, but I'm sorry to ask this, but in our home, after funeral activity, you should not bath again like that. They're telling in our
No, you should bath again. You are impure. You should bath. You should do internal cleanliness and external cleanliness. Please bath.
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay.
Follow what the Shastra says. Don't follow what people say because they don't have knowledge. They'll keep concocting their own ideas.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Dandavat
Pranam. Okay, thank you all. Thanks for excellent morning association.
Just one small question, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
So Bhakti Yoga is always in context of Krishna, or
yes.
Okay, thank you.
In context of anyone else outside of Krishna, it is not called Bhakti Yoga.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev ki jai. Jai Gaur Premanande.
Hari.
Pancharuvyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Vaishnava Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Tat Sat. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you
Hare
very
Krishna
much.
Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu,
Dandavat
Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat.
Hare Krishna Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam. Okay, I'll end the class here.